She was doing everything to get under his skin. Posting thirst traps. Leaving him on read. Laughing a little too hard at another guy's joke. She wanted to see him break. Lose it. Show that he cared. But he didn't flinch. He just looked at her, smiled, and walked away. That's when it hit her. He wasn't like the others. And suddenly she couldn't stop thinking about him. Because the less he reacted, the more she craved him. And this is the moment most men never see coming. They think chasing wins her heart. That reacting shows love. But the truth is, it pushes her away. Real attraction begins when you stop reacting. He used to text her constantly. Worried if she didn't reply fast. Overthinking her every mood swing. Explaining himself even when he did nothing wrong. She didn't ask him to do all this. But he thought, maybe if I show her I care more, she'll love me more. But she didn't. In fact, the more he reacted, the more distant she became. Until one day, he just stopped. No arguments. No long paragraphs. No emotional breakdown. He simply stopped giving his energy to someone who didn't value it. And that's when she changed. She became curious again. She watched his stories. Replied to his old texts. Suddenly, she was chasing the man who used to chase her. Why? Because when he stopped reacting, she started feeling. And when a woman starts to feel, she starts to crave. Here's the truth no one teaches men. Overreacting doesn't show love. It shows insecurity. And insecurity destroys attraction. A woman may test you. Not because she wants to hurt you. But because deep down, she wants to feel your emotional strength. If you explode when she's distant. If you beg for attention. If you spiral when she pulls away. She learns one thing fast. You're not grounded. You're not leading. You're emotionally dependent on her responses. And that's when the respect begins to fade. And with it, the attraction. But when you stay calm, truly calm, you flip the entire dynamic. You become the man she can't shake. The man who doesn't need to win her over because he's already whole. And in a world full of emotional boys, you become a masculine man. Let's go back to the story. The guy didn't ghost her. He didn't block her or play childish games. He just shifted his energy. He didn't need her to validate him. He didn't argue when she was distant. He didn't question her dry replies. Instead, he stayed silent. Focused. Calm. And slowly, that calmness drove her wild. Why? Because calmness is rare. Most men overreact. Panic. Try to fix things that don't need fixing. But he didn't. He just pulled back and let her wonder. And that space, that quiet confidence, is what made her miss him more than she ever expected. Here's the secret. Attraction isn't built in noise. It's built in silence. When you stop reacting, she starts noticing. When you stop explaining, she starts questioning. When you stop chasing, she starts craving. Because mystery is powerful. And calmness is magnetic. She doesn't want a man who breaks when things get uncomfortable. She wants a man who stays grounded when storms hit. That's alpha energy. That's masculine stillness. That's what keeps her up at night wondering, why isn't he chasing me? And the more she wonders, the more she wants you. This works because of how the mind processes value. People don't crave what's always available. They crave what they can't fully figure out. And nothing is harder to figure out than a man who controls his emotions. When she pushes you and you don't budge, that tells her you're not desperate. You're in control. You're rooted in something deeper than approval. And that energy is addicting. She starts to imagine you with other women. She replays your last conversation. She starts checking when you're online, who you're with, why you're so calm. She wants to solve the puzzle, but she can't. Because the man who doesn't react is a mystery. And the mystery always wins. Let's be clear. Not reacting doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about your peace than someone else's chaos. A high-value man doesn't need to prove anything. He speaks less, observes more, and walks away when he's not respected. Not out of spite, but out of self-worth. He's the guy who says, if you need space, take it. If you want to leave, go. If you think I'll fight for a place in your life that you won't give me, you're mistaken. That's the man she dreams about. Because that's the man she can't control. And women don't crave what they control. They crave what they feel inspired by, what they respect, what challenges them emotionally. And that challenge, that pull, is only felt in your calmness. So what should you do when she tests you? When she pulls away, gets moody, or plays games? Do nothing. Seriously, nothing. Don't chase. Don't explain. Don't fall into her frame. Just stay still. Stay focused. Live your life. Go to the gym. Work on your purpose. Laugh with your friends. and let her feel the absence of your reaction. That silence will speak louder than any paragraph you could ever write. And in that silence, she'll start to feel. She'll start to regret. She'll start to crave. But here's the most important part. You don't do this to manipulate her. You do it to become the man you were always meant to be. A man who isn't controlled by validation. A man who leads with emotional discipline. A man who's attractive not because of what he says, but because of what he no longer reacts to. That's the man she can't forget. That's the man who walks into a room and makes her heart race, not because he's loud, but because he's composed. That's the man she talks about with her friends, wondering what he's thinking, missing his presence, craving his energy. And all of that started the moment he stopped reacting. So if you're watching this, hoping for a secret line to win her over, here it is. Don't react. Not to her games. Not to her silence. Not to her attempts to control your peace. Let your stillness become your strength. Let your calmness become your loudest answer. Let your silence speak for you. Because the man who doesn't react, that's the man who stays on her mind long after everyone else is gone. The man who doesn't chase. The man who doesn't break. The man who leads with quiet confidence. That's the man she craves.